and welcome to the Niwot Newbies podcast. My name is Landon Wright, and today I hope you guys are enjoying the stream somewhere on YouTube. I'm proud to be here with my good friend Charlotte and Noah. We are all freshmen here at Niwot Stuco, and we're really excited today to talk about just what we're doing in the Niwot community. I love this. I love that it's live too.
It's a very distinct laugh.
So let's get started, Charlotte. Can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi, I'm Charlotte Costa. My favorite color is green, and my favorite food is rice.
That's great. Noah, introduce yourself again.
Hi, I'm Noah Polachek.
As you've seen before. Oh, thanks.
So let's get started. Why did you choose to come to Niwot, Charlotte?
I didn't have a choice, but I'm glad I didn't have a choice because I love it here.
That's good. Noah, why did you choose again to go to Niwot?
I chose to come to Niwot for I chose to come to Niwot because of the education, because of the school environment, and it was just a good fresh start. And it's a nice school. It's a pretty school too.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit. I'll ask both of you guys these questions, but I know I've asked you this before, Noah, but for you, Charlotte, to kind of talk about the first couple of years of your life, the first, 14 years of your life before you came to Niwot. So where did you go to middle school? What was your kind of growing up like? And
From ages 0 to 5, I don't think I remember anything, but I used to live in California. I went to Santa Margarita Elementary. Shout out Santa Margarita Elementary. And then I went to Flagstaff Academy for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Love that place. Shout out. Go Dragons. And is there anything else you would like to know about my previous life?
I think I'm fine.
Okay.
What about Japan?
Oh, I lived in Japan.
Noah, tell us again about your growing up.
I lived in Israel. Then I went to JCC preschool, and then I went to Eisenhower, and then I went to LAS. Then I went to LMS, and then I went to Monarch, and now I'm at Niwot.
That's great, guys. So kind of talk to us about why you wanted to come to Niwot Student Council, and what really was your goal for this freshman year?
I feel like my goal for this freshman year was mainly to maintain my academic grades. I wanted to start high school off strong academically because I want to get into a good college, of course, and I care about my future. And I feel like I've accomplished that goal so far. And why I wanted to do Niwot Student Council is, I don't know, I really like leadership, and I like to be involved in leading roles, and I like planning events, and so it was the perfect opportunity, and I got in. So,
were you nervous that you weren't going to get in, or did you have confidence in yourself the whole time?
I was definitely nervous I wasn't going to get in because I knew a couple people that got rejected, but they were asked to apply again, but I did get in. So.
Noah, how about you?
Wait, sorry, repeat the question.
Yeah, so just kind of talk about why you came to Niwot Stuco and what kind of your goals were for this year.
I came to Niwot Stuco, so I knew I wanted to be in student council originally because my sister was in it, and she just recommended I started early. So I started freshman year. I also just wanted to be involved and really make an impact, and you can hide behind in high school, or you can try new things. So I guess that was kind of my goal this year, was just getting out of my comfort zone, trying new things, and learning about myself more, and making mistakes and just figuring it out.
All right, guys, that's really cool. So going to our next question, because I know for me, right, we talked about the Stuco process and about our goals for this year. I love to ask this question here on the podcast. What would you tell an incoming freshman and current 8th grader that's about 3-4 months away from starting Niwot? What is your best piece of advice? Start with you, Charlotte, and then Noah, that you would give them.
I would tell them to appreciate the last couple weeks of 8th grade because I know I can speak for myself and all my friends that was the best time in my life. But I would also tell them to get a folder for all their work. I don't know why. That just really helps. And I would also tell them that the first couple weeks are really scary and you're going to feel really uncomfortable in your classes, but it does go away. So you kind of just got to push through that. And please care about your grades. Don't overly stress about them because they're important, but they're also not worth crying over. And I would also tell them to get involved in things, go out of their comfort zone, because going out of your comfort zone just creates character, and character creates strength, and strength creates hope.
How about you, Noah?
I would just say like let things flow kind of, but also try your hardest. Like don't care so much. I think when it comes to high school, a lot of people tend to care about like social status. They're trying to like chase a goal or a dream they had for their high school experience. I would say like appreciate the people that you have class with, the girl that you sit next to, and just like reach out to her. You may like not think that you have much in common, but you start talking and like things work out. And then like also just like don't be shy. It's the first, especially in the beginning, like I think the first few weeks I would ask like 15 people to hang out like every weekend.
Yeah.
And like maybe 3 replied, but like it got there and like it really does help. And I would just say like socially wise, just let things flow. And then school wise for freshmen, I would just say, just try your hardest. Don't make it your whole life. I wouldn't get infinite canvas on your phone. Like weekends should be weekends. It shouldn't be weekdays, shouldn't be like school days. Like still work hard and like pay attention, especially towards the end of the semester. I definitely am seeing a slip in my grades. I think like the intensity of sports and everything. So like I recommend just like staying in and like staying consistent. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that advice. I want to say one point and add on to something that you said earlier about social status, because I think in middle school, social status is a big deal, obviously. And I feel like as you get older in high school, and this would be my piece of advice, is that it really doesn't matter anymore. Like maybe the first couple of weeks of freshman year, everybody kind of still want to be the big dog and be on top. But after a while, they kind of figure out that that's not really the life you want to live. Because it's normally not the most successful. And so if any future 8th graders are listening to this right now, I would just say live your life, be yourself. And like when you come to Niwot, be authentic. The worst thing you can do is be someone else besides yourself the first couple of weeks of school, because that's how you get yourself with, reputation doesn't matter, but that's kind of how you get yourself into kind of a bad situation with, how people identify you as a person. And so I would definitely give that piece of advice. So,
And also just like, social status is not everything. It really is not. Like, just find your group. Whatever works for you works for you. Like, you can change groups. There's no pressure on anything. You can hang out with a girl and just like, still like you don't have to be best friend with her. It's all just like figuring out where you fit in, and like it'll take a year or around. It'll take however long it takes you. But like, it's okay. Be patient with it and don't like stress so much over it.
All right, so now that we're almost towards the end of the school year, let's talk about what was your favorite thing this school year. I'll start. My favorite thing this school year was our homecoming, which was like 9 months ago. So it's crazy that was my best part. But definitely the school dances are really fun. How about you, Charlotte?
My favorite was also homecoming week. I can't describe how much joy I felt that week. It was genuinely the most like hype and exciting week I've ever experienced, especially like in a new school environment. And I feel like homecoming week really brings everybody together. And it was also just super fun going with friends and getting dresses. And I feel like it's kind of like your first big high school moment.
How about you?
I feel like my favorite thing I did this year was just like honestly probably track. It was something that I really didn't expect myself to do, and like I didn't think I even had time to do, and I didn't think I'd be good at or anything, and I just like surprised myself, and like my like beginning freshman self would probably be really like surprised that I did that. So liked surprising myself and just like trying new things. I also loved like school events as well.
Okay, so for our last question here, as we're almost running out of time, I'll start by answering. But our last question is, if you could look at yourself a year ago and say, I'm really proud of myself about this. Just kind of looking at reflection this year, what you're proud of yourself about. What would it be? And I'll start. For me, it would be personally, I feel like understanding that the world is a lot bigger than just us as people. And I feel like this year as a freshman, we became a united community here at Niwot. And that was one of my big goals, especially when I got interviewed for Stuco. I came in and I said, I want to make this class of 2028 a community it's never going to be perfect. Not everybody's always going to be nice to each other, but a loving and inviting community that will understand that other people come from so many different places, so many different home environments. And just to be able to be united kind of as a group was really one of my goals, and I see it every day with people being kind. How about you guys?
Can you repeat the question?
Just
please?
like what's been like your thing you're super proud of yourself that you've seen so far in the grader that you've done here at Niwot?
Noah, Paulcheck, would you
Wait,
go
can you
first?
just repeat it one last
Yeah,
time?
I'm just a little confused on the wording of that.
Also, how much time do we have?
We have as much time as you want, but there's
so
zero
can
viewers
we should
watching.
do a fun question on.
Yeah,
Okay, let's actually
Wait,
do a fun
no,
question.
I want to answer that question, but will you do more than, like, I don't want this to be the last question.
Okay, I will. I'll do
Okay.
one more after this.
No, like,
Okay, three
okay,
more.
anyways, ask it again.
Just like how would you describe the school year as like to yourself last year, right? We talked about like if you could give advice, what's a personal reflection you could make on this school year? You want to start?
I feel like I could have been more open. I felt very enclosed and entitled to people that I originally came with. And I think now coming throughout the school year that I should have been more open to like making newer relationships and not as worried about just, I didn't want my life to change. And I feel like I was really afraid of change. But change is something that happens to all people. So I would just tell myself, let the change come. You can't stop it. And just embrace it. Don't reject it. Thank you.
I
No.
would just tell myself, like, appreciate everything, even the bad things, like, good and bad things, they all happen. And, like, appreciate, like, every feeling you have throughout your high school year is, like, normal. So, like, just appreciate and embrace it and, like, work through it, but don't, like, shame yourself for anything. And I guess, like, wait, is it that what I'm proud of that I did this year?
Yeah.
I'm proud that I just learned about myself and like got through my first year of high school. That's as simple as it gets.
Okay, can I ask a fun question?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ask up.
What are your guys' opinions about Amish people?
Ooh, I'm from Iowa, so I'm actually from one of the biggest Amish areas in the whole United States. And I remember in Iowa going down to Kelowna, which was an Amish town, seeing the people in their horse and carriage buggies and stuff like that. And it for me, I think it's a different style of life. I think it has its positive and it has its negatives to it. I think having a life where you live a very eco-friendly life, you don't use as much technology, you don't use as much power, but it also comes with financial issues. And so I just think if that's the life you want to live, that's the life you want to live. How about you, Noah?
I think it's really cool. I think, like, especially I realize how addicted I am to my phone, and like, it's cool to live like a
As Landon's
traditional
texting.
life, and like, I don't know, it's cool. I think it is a bit extreme though, but like, it has an interesting idea.
I think Amish people are very interesting and how they approach life and how they think and how they just live like it's the olden days and they're not really adapt to change. And I think it's really cool how they make all their food and how they work in their little towns. I've never actually seen an Amish person, but I have camped right next door to Mennonites, and they are very friendly people. And yep.
Okay, we can probably ask 2 more questions.
Okay.
So Noah, you asked one.
Okay. Like a fun one?
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's Friday.
Me and Noah are wearing the same shoes, by the way.
I am not.
Okay, if you had to be an animal, why would you be that animal?
You can start. I have to think about this.
Charlotte can
Yeah,
start.
Charlotte can start.
Do you have your answer?
Yeah.
Or you can start, Noah.
Okay, if I had to be an animal, I have 2 answers.
Amazing.
I would either be a horse because they're very like free, and like I'd be a free horse, you know,
Okay.
and like they're just in nature, and I just love horses so much. I like on the way to my house there's a farm, so I'll like sneak in there and like pet them.
Sneak in there legally.
And I don't know, I just feel like they're very sensitive and like I just relate to them.
Emotional animals.
My second would be like a dolphin. I feel like I'm so jealous. Like dolphins are just so cool. Like they're so smart and like they like actually I'm pretty sure they like figured out a way to get drunk in the ocean, which is actually very fascinating. And that's how smart they are. So
That's really
How
cool.
about you, Sean?
I feel like I could be endless amounts of animals. And I'm sure I've mentioned it before that if there was a thing as reincarnation and I had to become reincarnation as an animal, I'd probably become a butterfly. But if not a butterfly, I'd be a seahorse because I think seahorses are so cool and that the males carry the babies. And I love how they live in the ocean and they just have their little tails. And from what I've seen, they're just really peaceful creatures. And I've never actually seen one in the wild, but I've gone to so many different aquariums and they're just mesmerizing to look at. And I feel like people, if I was a seahorse, people would enjoy me being a seahorse. And so it'd be really fun to have other people pleased with me too.
If I was an animal, I would definitely be a lion. I want to have that lion
A male
mentality.
lion?
Of
Would
course.
you be a male lion or a woman lion?
A male lion?
Did you know that the woman lions actually are the ones that hunt?
Oh well, I would be whichever one's the hunter then.
Okay, he'd be a woman.
No, well, no,
We
no,
love
I would be.
feminists.
I would be the male lion actually because I want to have that mentality of like, hey, like every day we can get better and we go out and we get our food and we, even if the women hunt, you know what I mean, just a lion in general, and just having that mentality of like every meal is worth it and just continuing to get out there and work every day. I think that'd be a really cool opportunity. So, we have ran about over time. Do you guys have any other things you want to say before we end the podcast today?
Thank you for having us on. I was really
Thank
excited.
you.
This is my first time on the podcast, and I would
Hopefully
love
we'll
to
have you
come back on more.
And this is number 8. We are now up to, I believe, 10 kids out of the 500 almost kids in our grade that we want to interview. So over the next 4 years, we're going to work to get every single Niwot student. So if you're down in the comments, drop a comment and say if you want to be interviewed next. We're trying to do at least 1 or 2 every week. We'll see you next week. Until then, have a great day and Go Cougs.
Let's go Cougars!
Go Cougs!